All right, guys, welcome. Today I'm going to be giving you a review of the Charfen Cadence Program from Alex Charfen. This is a high-level business mentor coaching program for businesses all the way from, I would say, probably low hundred thousands to millions of dollars and tens of millions. There's guys in the program and upwards of hundreds of million, or 50 million rather. So I'm going to give you a review of that. So I'm Daniel Kochanowicz. A little bit about me. I am the operator in a business called Bridgecom Systems. We are a two-way radio dealer. Basically, we're a physical products e-commerce brand, totally online. We are at about a $5 million run rate. We have about 22 people plus contractors. Just to give you a little bit of context from me making this assessment, we have been in the program for 9 months, and we are in the grow and scale part of the program. We did start in the Catalyst, moved up to Accelerator, and then moved into grow and scale. So I can, after 9 months and using the program and implementing it in the business, and actually using it, implementing it, I feel like I can give you a very honest and transparent review. This video will have an affiliate link, and I'm not paid to do this video. It's just a link. If you're interested in the program, if you like what I have to say, or you don't like it, whatever. If you're interested in purchasing, please click on the link below and get that link, and then you can check it out as well. So let's get right into it. This is a higher level program. For most of you, this is going to be a monthly subscription. You have different levels of the program, right? This is a monthly subscription. This is a high ticket subscription program is how the pricing model is. Okay, now there's different levels. So you've got I think the Catalyst level, which is now the lowest tier. They had a foundation tier, which was lower, but I think they've removed that from their product offerings and just recently, as of the recording of this video in mid-March 2021. So they have the Catalyst level, which gives you the coaching, and it gives you the majority of the course materials, and then also the events, most of the events as well. And that runs about $1,000 a month, which with you get a seat as the CEO, and your operator gets a seat, which is your second in command, which would be like my role. They get a seat as well in the program, right? And then you have your Accelerator Program. This is your higher ticket program. You're going to get another extra chunk of the course, and then you're also going to get additional events that are exclusive to people in the grow and scale community. And then there's the third tier, which is it's the same pricing as the Accelerator tier. It is the grow and scale tier, which the only difference is that you have to have, I believe, at least 15 or 20 people, and you have to be making at least $3 million a year in revenue from your business. And be in the program for 6 months. There's no additional cost, but they bump you up a tier and you get additional course material, and you get a little bit more of the events. So those are the tiers. Now let's get into what you're actually getting with the program and my thoughts on each aspect. So the first and main aspect of the program that I'd like to go over is the course part of the program, right? In my personal opinion, this is the most valuable part of the Charfen Cadence program, the actual course itself. I will insert some rolling screenshots and kind of show you some of the topics and stuff in the course. There's a lot of course material to go through. All this course material is taught by Alex Charfen himself. He does have recordings of expert calls in there as well, but those are in a separate category. But the entire Charfen Cadence system and program is taught by Alex Charfen, who's the owner of the company and created the system basically. And this course in our personal business, we've probably implemented we've been in the program for about 9 months, since about June of 2020. And to this point, it has been extremely valuable. The information in there, the course, it lays a very solid foundation for how to build your business, how to structure your management, how to structure your communication, basically how to build the internals of a very solid company. A lot of programs and the vast majority of your courses out there are simply teaching you how to make money, simply teaching you a way to generate income, through some business model or the other. Now, the Charfen Cadence doesn't really teach you how to make money. It teaches you how to actually build the business that will facilitate the revenue generation, because the reality is that you really can't build a business that big unless you have a team behind you, and the vast majority of people don't know how to build that team. and how to structure that company. So this is going to go from everything, A to Z, hiring, firing, building your systems, building like all your meetings, how to communicate, what metrics to look at, what to fix in your personal life to then facilitate you being able to build the business. Again, I'll roll through all these topics on the screen, and then you'll also be able to check out their website and see the exact offerings themselves. But this is really going to be an A to Z internals of the company. I really haven't felt like there's anything that was really lacking, anything that I really felt like it was a mystery. They've really fleshed this course out, really fleshed the information out. It's been very well tested, and in my experience of building this, basically we implemented the cadence right as we were getting to about that 10-15 people mark. We were moving out of a one-room shop and into a shop with multiple rooms because we were getting bigger, and we just couldn't communicate by yelling across the room anymore. It just wasn't sustainable, wasn't scalable. So we had to implement a business system like this. We looked at other ones like the traction system as well as this one, and ultimately decided on the Charfen Cadence as our go-to system. Now it does function, it wants you to have the CEO and then the business owner, and then you want to have an operator as your second in command. And they definitely emphasize getting that operator as quickly as possible, but that they really make it to where you can evolve, and like the operator at the beginning can just be like a personal assistant, somebody that just helps you run things, and then as you get bigger there's levels. If you've been following Alex for any length of time, there's the Billionaire Code, which is basically just different tiers of revenue and where you're at in your business, and basically like what you need at each tier. And so they really go through, you can start implementing this cadence, from day one, 0 revenue. Of course, that's going to be cost prohibitive. Honestly, this is really good to implement probably when you start getting, 7 people, 10 people, where you really, you can do it from day one, but if you're really trying to build a business, we started at about 10 to 15 people. We started implementing this system, and it's been working out really well. We're now 21, 22 people plus contractors, and our business is running extremely well. Everything is extremely clear in terms of people's responsibilities, their roles. We're hiring the right people, and things are going really well. So in terms of the aspects, the course is super solid, 10 out of 10, probably the best part of the program. The only part that I really see the downside is that you do have to pay for it in a subscription type service. You have to pay for it monthly instead of buying it outright, like a lot of other courses out there. You do have to pay for that monthly subscription. But if you're hitting the revenue numbers where you really need this, like you're hitting maybe like high hundreds of thousands, or even mid to high hundreds of thousands and maybe millions. It obviously depends on the type of business you're in, what your margins are. But this can make sense for you, when you get to these people levels where you really need this. It's really more about the people than the revenue where you're going to need something like this. Okay, so another thing about the course, guys, is the level of production in the course, the actual modules and the resources is fantastic. Not only is he giving you all the information in terms of the videos and talking about it and leveling everything out for you, but you're also going to get basically a swipe file on basically every aspect of everything he teaches. So like all your meetings, like your meetings with people, your communications, how to structure things, like little checklists, templates, kind of like choreographs or executive summaries or summaries of everything in the course is all provided on paper with a extremely actionable where you could just hand it to a team member and they could figure it out. All your OTA sheets, all of basically everything that's taught in the program comes with documentation and templates and everything. So it's really just a plug and play system. You just learn the information and you can implement it straight away by simply making copies of all the documents. They're all in Google Drive format, so you can just copy them into your Google Drive or download them, whatever you want to do, and you can just hand them to a team member or start using them straight away. It's awesome. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the program, is that everything is so easily implementable, guys. This is an extremely, easy to take straight off the video and plug it right into your business with just, shouting out the announcement, guys. So So that is one of my favorite parts of the program, is just the level of production and the thoroughness in terms of what they're providing in terms of the information, as well as how to actually implement it in your business is super duper straightforward and super easy. You don't have to make any documents yourself, all provided for you. Okay, next aspect of it is the coaching aspect of the program. So it's not just a course, it is a full program, and a big part that they advertise is the actual coaching aspect of it. Now, Alex himself doesn't really do a lot of the coaching. He appears in a couple to a few mentor calls like a month, and other than that, you're not really ever interacting with Alex himself. You're interacting with his coaches. I believe there's 3 now. This part of the program, so they have daily calls, where daily support calls is what they call them, where you can, for like an hour each day at varying times. So, you can probably get into a call during the week, right? Every 5 days a week they have a support call, right? And I think this would be really good for if you need motivation, you need somebody to prod you along, you have basic questions you want to ask about the course. But for any kind of, from what my experience is, because we are kind of, being at like a $5 million run rate, we're getting to be at the higher, kind of tier of the businesses they serve. It seems like the vast majority of them are in the mid, hundreds of thousands to maybe the low millions. And so their coaches have never really run businesses before, and they don't, for complicated, like strategic questions and stuff that's not necessarily in the purview of the Cadence, they're really not helpful, unfortunately. And that's just, I think, just due to them not really, knowing how they've never run a business. In terms of information about the Cadence, or questions in terms of resources, they're very good about that. If you have a question about where something is, or what about a meeting or something like that, they're very knowledgeable about the actual material themselves, and they're very quick to point you in a direction and give you direction and send you to the material that's already been pre-recorded for you to use, which has been helpful, believe it or not, because sometimes you overlook a certain aspect, or you forget, and you go in there and ask them, and they can just send you all the resources. They're very communicative. They try to provide as much as they can, and they're very fast. Typically, I get a response, within a couple hours from emailing them, and emailing them has been the best way to communicate with them for me. In terms of the coaching, depends on what you're trying to get coached on. If you want one-on-one business coaching with an expert, it's probably not for you. You're really not gonna get the answers from the coaches. All the real, high-level strategic answers are going to be from the actual course material that Alex Charfen has run itself, and that's just simply the fact that the coaches really aren't business owners. They're coaches, and they're more just kind of guiding you to what's already there and kind of motivating you, rather than actually teaching you the material, if that makes any sense. So in terms of how I rate the coaching program, it's not, for me particularly, not ultra valuable, but it is helpful sometimes when I have a quick question that can be answered with the course material that's already available. I think if you were a lower end business, like lower revenue, and you had simpler problems, more people problems, more drama kind of issues, they may be able to help more with that. But in terms of high-level business strategy, not super helpful. Okay guys, so let's get on to the third and final aspect of the program, is the live events that they offer. So they have a quarterly event now. Unfortunately, due to COVID, they have been forced to do virtual events like many other companies, which is really not their fault, just reality of life. And I have not actually been able to go to a physical event because we got the program in June 2020. Of course, quarantine has been in effect till then. I really do want to go to one. They seem like they're going to be really fun. So I really can't pass an honest judgment of the physical in-person events. I think that they would be far more valuable than the virtual events, because there's just a lot more opportunity to network and talk freely with other business owners. But I think, if they had physical events, would be the most valuable part of that. For the virtual events, I really haven't been, super impressed with them, just in the information they have and the format. And I think, I'm trying to be fair, because the virtual events are harder, to do. It's harder to facilitate the got the presence and the what you can accomplish in a physical event. But the information that is in the virtual events right now is pretty much just a rehash of the course. They will rehash it for a day, and then they'll have other stuff from the course, and they'll usually have expert calls, or experts come on, or people from the actual program come on and talk and share stories and things like that. So there's really not like, the virtual event has really not like a lot of new information. It's more just like stories, and maybe there's some new information in the form of some experts coming on, or high level people in the program kind of sharing their stories and stuff like that. But they do get a little bit, woo-woo a little bit, about some things, and more focused on like the people side. It just kind of depends. There's usually a theme. They're all right. I think that if it would really, they have like breakout rooms and stuff where you can network with other people kind of, but you're really not able to go out and find other business owners kind of like yourself that you can really, befriend and like strike up a conversation and stuff. It's very hard to do that, but I think that's more just due to the virtual Zoom format rather than doing a poor event. It's really just unfortunately, the format is not suited for a lot of networking. So I think if they had physical events, they'd probably be great. The virtual events right now are just kind of so-so. Okay guys, and then quick bonus, they do have a few bonuses that they send you. They send you swag boxes. So when you sign up, and I believe like every month or every quarter, I'm not exactly sure, I haven't been tracking it, they do actually send you like a swag box where they just send you like random stuff, they send you like the Charfen planners, and then they like random items that they, for self-improvement or performance enhancing stuff, products like energy drinks, or they like lights or decorations or little signs and things like that. Just kind of like little stuff, maybe a book they like. So that's kind of a neat touch, is they send you, some physical items in a box. It's kind of a mystery box you get, and that's kind of cool. Some of the things in there are cool. Just kind of depends on who you are. So that's kind of neat. And they do actually send you a box every virtual event. They mail you a box when you sign up, so it has a lot of those things in it, like little items and things that can help you out. And they send you typically an event, kind of planner, or like a kind of a guide to help you go through the event and what they're doing. So that's pretty cool. They do try their best to make the virtual events as engaging as possible. I just don't think that the virtual format is very well suited for what they're trying to do. Again, not their fault, it's just kind of the reality of life right at the moment. Okay, so bottom line, would I invest in this course if I was trying to build a business? Answer is yes, 100% would invest and get this course and implement it in my business if I had to do it over again. Course has been very invaluable. I've worked really hard to implement it and just really go after, implementing one step at a time, and it has proven extremely successful. We now have a very strong, very solid, well-built company that I am really happy, and I can say that a lot of that is from implementing the Charfen Cadence in the business. It helps to have good products, obviously, but if you can't scale your actual business and your fulfillment and everything inside of it, it'll all come crumbling down. So if I was to buy a coaching program, this is definitely the one I would get. So would definitely recommend go out and buy this. There will be a link in the description. It is an affiliate link. I do get a sale from the commissions, but I purchased this program. We buy it every month, and we are using it actively in the business, and I would not promote anything that I am not fully invested in and on board with. So if you want to get that, please hit that link in the description and check it out. You can also talk to me, drop a link in the description, send me an email if you have further questions. I'd love to answer them for you. It is a big investment, it is a large purchase. So if you want some, outside third party, kind of explain things for you, I'd be happy to do that. I am not an employee of Charfen. I am just a guy in the program. So with that, thank you guys. Please drop a subscribe and a like button if you like this, and I'll see you in the next chapter.